Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Glasgow. It's Tollcross Park. Welcome to Baseball Scotland. It is the Caledonia Classic AAA final. It's a 3-game series. So our visitors, the Tayport Breakers, winning in the previous game. And they're being hosted by the Glasgow Comets, 1 game back in the 3-game series. So it's a must-win game for Glasgow if they want to get one hand onto the two-handed trophy and have a chance of lifting that next week. For Tayport, they've already got one of those handles fully occupied, and they're looking to get their excited little baseball mitts on the other and lift the Caledonia Classic trophy. At the moment, it is all in the balance. We do have the dates from last week and all of that to consider. I say last week, we're actually rained off last week. It's from 2 weeks before. And at that point there, the Comets visited the Breakers. Comets putting 2 runs on the board, but the Breakers having an explosive 5th inning, putting 13 on the board for a final score of 17 to the Breakers and 2 to the Comets. So there is a game to climb. But of course, the scores right now are 0 to the Comets, 0 to the Breakers. Nobody has scored as yet. I'm Ewan Spence, going to be taking you through play-by-play. We've got Reuben Huss on the truck. Say hello, Reuben. Hello, Reuben. And that's about all Reuben can say at this point because he gets a bit worried. So joining me now, we have El Presidente, John Safe, briefly on colour. Welcome to the show, John.
Welcome very much.
Tell us a little bit about how important baseball in Scotland is as a whole.
Well, I think it's tremendously important, of course. I've been playing baseball here for now just over 10 years. And it was so excited to come and find that there is a thriving baseball scene here in Scotland. Certainly it's something we want to continue to grow, and things like this, the Caledonian Cup, and promoting it are things we need to do to try to get the message out there that baseball is alive and well in Scotland.
So thank you to everybody out there who's watching us on YouTube on our live stream. By all means, leave your comments and we'll get to them if we can. Let's take a little look right now, if we can, at the lineups first. The Tayport Breakers in the banning. And they're going to be leading off with Luke Lasky, their pitcher. Paul Gardner at second base, and Ewan Fletcher is going to be banning third. He's in centre field. Expect him to come into relief at some point as well. Middle of the order, Ethan Dick from third base. Shinyin Lies catcher, and Luis Marino at shortstop is your 4, 5, 6. And closing out 7, 8, 9. You have the option of playing 9 or 10 in Scotland. Breakers are choosing to play with 9. Joe Matthews, right fielder at 7. Tom Knox, first base at 8. And Don Ung at left field, closing out at 9. Defensive lineup for the Glasgow Comets. Across the top there, we have Rodriguez, Perez, and Flores. That, of course, is Alberti Rodriguez, Alfredo Perez, and David Flores. Your shortstop there is going to be Tyler Spencer. Your 3-2-1 across the middle, Nate Strauser on third, Juan Suarez at second, Ian Davidson on first. Catching is going to be Adixo Barrios, and throwing down the heat and opening up that is JC Martez. Weather today, 12 degrees, a little bit nippy. 10 knot wind is coming in from the northwest. We'll align that with the diamond once I actually see what it's like when we go. Sunny intervals are expected, a little bit of a gentle breeze. Cool, but relatively good conditions for playing baseball in, John.
Yeah, this is a lovely day today, especially this time of year. You know, I think in Scotland we're not always blessed with the best weather, but if you can have it dry and you can have it clear, that's fantastic. It's about what you want here.
So we're getting ready to go underway here. The 1, 2, 3 that we are going to get from the Tayport Breakers. Luke Lasky, Paul Gardner, and Ewan Fletcher will be up to face there. We'll go over the sort of keys to the game, the peoples to watch out for as we go through. We've got 7 innings of fun going on here. I'm at the commentary table. John is on the wrong side of me, so that's going to be a bit awkward. So, John, if you could just go right round to the other bit, the bit that says colour commentator. Yeah, you can't leave from there, can you? You're stuck for the rest of the game.
All right, here we go.
But I've got a little bit of paper for you there so you can take notes. And you'll keep an eye on instructions. First pitch comes down, and for those of you keeping track, it's at 10 past 2, 14:10 on your scorecards. And we are underway here in Tollcross Park. JC Martez on the mound throwing down. Luke Lasky receiving those pitches here. Lasky coming in here batting 238, and we're immediately also into our pitcher-pitcher matchup, as Lasky is going to be the opening pitcher for the Breakers. Another ball thrown down there. JC Martez will be looking to find the control as quickly as possible. Came into relief in game one, and that relief appearance was that same inning where the massive 13 spot came up. So there's a little bit of mental resilience needed here. All round. Yeah. Concentration is super important, but Martez as a starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key. I mean, both teams have really deep lineups. And I think for the Comets especially, it's trying to pitch around some of the really big hitters in the middle of their lineups.
That's the walk issued there.
Yeah, that's a walk. And so what they I think the key, it sounds very simple, but I think what they want to do is just play some really good defense, make sure they don't walk too many guys, and just keep as many of the Tayports off the base pass as possible. I know in that last game,
runner goes from second up to third. Steelers on the attempted throw comes up to catcher. It was a good throw in time, but it is just not able to get the tag on. Lasky does the Scottish two-stop there, gets on to first, and then steals up to second. But immediately Ezio Barrios, catcher there, showing aggressive, deciding, you know what, we're going to go for that. Almost in time up there on second.
Yeah, that was a really, really good throw, a really good tag. I don't think there was anything anybody could have done anything better there. I think he just stole the base.
Pitch comes down to Paul Gardner, hit high, line drive. Stumbled in the hands of the shortstop, picks it up, decides to go for the throw to first base. It is not in time. And Paul Gardner's going to be happy there. Is that a little bobble there from Tyler Spencer up at shortstop?
Yeah, I think
that gave just a little bit, another foot or two to put runners at first and second.
That took a classic Tollcross bounce there. You know, our infield can have some surprises, and I think what happens, he lined himself up, and it took a quick jaunt to his right. He managed to stop it though. He managed to get his hand on it, and that kept the runner at second. So,
Avon Fletcher in now. Avon, of course, throwing a ridiculous amount of strikeouts in game one. 83% of the outs came from Avon Fletcher's strikeout arm in game one. He's in center field at the moment, and at the mound pops that one up high and fast over the first baseline.
Yeah, I mean,
foul.
He's absolutely got overpowering stuff, and I think that got to the Comets a little bit in the first game, and that they knew they couldn't. They got a little bit tight in that inning where they gave up a bunch of runs because they knew they were playing a really tight game. So I think here what they're going to have to do is just relax. Tayport are going to score some runs. So let them score some runs and have confidence that you can get them back on the other side.
Another ball thrown down there as well. Martez looking to find the control and also just try and get a feel of the zone that's coming from our umpiring crew. Thomas Haywood is your crew chief at home plate. Umpire Robert Dolan at first, Rebecca Robb up at second, and Brian Clark umpiring at third. Four umpire crew here for the Caledonia Classic final. Pitch comes down from Martez to Fletcher, hits that grounder back to shortstop again. No Stillmill underneath second base. There's one out at second, and there's an overthrow at first, and it goes out of play as well. So that's going to be an extra 90 feet, and that is going to push the first run over the board there. That a grounder going out to shortstop. Tyler Spencer picking it up and throwing it underarm to second base. Paul Gardner on the force out there. On the 6-4 throw attempt there was down made to first base to see if Avon Fletcher and go for the double just off target, bouncing under the glove of Ian Davison and going out of play. And that out of play gives you runners 90 feet from the base you were at. So Avon Fletcher is going to reach base on error and going to be given an out of play out to second. And Luke Lasky, you'd already made it down to third on the play. Gets himself in for the first run on that overthrow there. So it's one run to the good for the Tayport Breakers. No outs at the moment yet. And we're just having it. Reuben, did we have the second Paul? Did we get Paul over as well? Yeah, Paul's been taken over as well on that one as well. So That's a 2 runs to the good and no outs at them.
There's one away, so they got the out at second.
It's just the 1 run, yeah. So Paul Gardner's out at second. Ivan Fletcher now sitting at third base on a steal coming through there.
Yeah, that was a tough play because
let's go to New York.
Exactly,
Mr. President. Can we afford to go to New York?
that was
yet.
That was a shame because I think they thought they had a Taylor double play ball there.
Pitch comes in there, and that's going to be fouled. Are they going to just drop foul down the right field line? Yeah. Distance is there, but just hooked a little bit hard. It's Ethan Dick, who's batting .273 at the moment in there. Also batting left-handed. Tayport have more left-handers than most of the clubs here in Scotland, so there's going to be a little having to keep an eye out there on first base. Runner at third, 1 away. Ball comes down. So it's Tayport at this point will be happy to trade an out there for the run. Paul Gardner he would have wanted to get on and run through, but productive play there.
Exactly. I mean, nobody wanted that overthrow, but I think the Comets did the right thing by getting that sure out at second. They tried to turn the double, and the ball just skidded away a little bit. I think you'll give that up, and I think that's going to be key here is getting those outs, just making sure you're keeping the Tayport in check by getting outs and only allowing so many runs.
Count goes full there, and it's a walk once more. See a second walk so far from a full count for JC Martez pitching for the Glasgow Comets. Runners go at the corners with 1 away. Ivan Fletcher up at third, waiting for the opportunity, and he does have speed. Now the backstop is relatively close here, as we have Shinyan Lai coming in, and Steele goes up first to second. One of the hallmarks of play up here in Scotland is, any single is almost a double as long as you take your time and get that steal timed correctly.
Yeah, especially with first and third. I mean, most of the time people are going to try to work on the batter, and they're going to give him second base, especially this early in the game. I think if you were later in the game and it was tighter, you might have come up with another play there. But I think at this point you're going to give him that base. Hope you can get an easy run here and get the second out. An easy
Foul
out
tip
here.
There. Runners remain just at third, 1 away, but 1 run on the good here, the top of the first. Shinyan Lai looking to take the next pitch now from JC Martez. Decision made, pitch comes down, swung on, hit high and hard. It is going to drop into right field. It's going to drop foul, so drop fair, my apologies. 1 run home. Ivan Fletcher makes it over. Speed comes down. Ethan Dick goes for the slide into home, and he's called safe there. 2 more home in that one there, so that is going to be an RBI single. But Shinyan Lai is going to go for the extra base after a bit of confusion, but he's going to be tagged out there. So Glasgow Comets, they're aware of having an unorthodox play there. Shinyan Lai taking the single, going into deep right field, bouncing just fair on the line as well, following the bounce. Ivan Fletcher and Ethan Dick coming home to put runs 2 and 3 on the board.
Yeah, that was a perfectly placed hit by Shinyan, and I think, Comets couldn't really do much else with that. They got the ball in. It was a close play at the plate. If he had held on to it, they might have been out, but I think he might have beat him as well.
Luis Marino steps in now with 2 away. No runners on. Bases have been cleared. Pops that one up high. It's going to go right over the commentary booth, but for far enough away that Reuben doesn't need to reach for his glove. It's taken us 16 games this year. Reuben has finally remembered to bring his glove into the commentary booth. Thank you, Reuben. Still not needed yet. So where are we? 3 runs to the Breakers at the top of the first here in game 2 with themselves 1 game up, as well as that one goes low and inside into the dirt there. Tiny Hush. Pitch in, and it's going to go outside, but the swing turns the ball into a strike there.
Luis is one of the other big hitters that I have to watch out for in this Tayport lineup. I've watched him hit a couple long balls.
Next one comes in, lets that one goes past, but it's a strike on the inside, strike 3, and that retires the side. And with that, it is going to be 3 runs to the good for the Tayport Breakers. coming off coming off 2 hits there, coming from Paul Gardner and Xinyan Lai. It looks like 1 error registered to the Glasgow Comets, but this is an unofficial scorebook, so we'll let that shake itself out at the end. No runners left on base either. Today's game is supported by Home Run Travel, specialist travel agents who offer tailor-made baseball trips for UK fans with itineraries across the US and Canada. Don't leave home without calling Home Run Travel, www.homeruntravel.co.uk. We'll take a little look at the lineups now as we go through. So it will be the home team, the Comets, looking to do their best to make up those 3 runs going through. 1, 2, 3 on that one there. Alfredo Perez, center field. Edixo Barrios, catcher, and JC Martez, a pitcher, will be your 1, 2, 3. Middle of the order will be Juan Suarez from second base, batting 4th. Ian Davison, the first baseman, batting 5th. David Flores, right fielder, batting 6th. And Nate Strasser, third baseman, will be batting 7th. As I said earlier, you have the choice of batting with 9 or 10. Glasgow Comets are choosing to bat with 10, so we've got 4 in the middle of the order. Your 3 closing out is going to be the DH, Andy Varner, you might remember last week was on colour for us. Before that, Tyler Spencer at the shortstop, and Alberti Rodriguez is left field closing out. So just to go over that one again, the 8, 9, 10 is Tyler Spencer, Andy Vaughan and Alberti Rodriguez. Little look quickly at the defensive lineup that we have for Tayport. Donong, Avin Fletcher and Joe Matthews is your left, centre, right. Across the top, Luis Moreno is going to be in shortstop. Ted Rogers, 3, 2, 1. F and Dick, Paul Gardner and Tom Knox taking third, Gardner at second and Knox at first. Catching is going to be Xinyan Lai, and pitching on the mound there is Luke Lasky, and I suppose that's going to be the first question to you, John. Avin Fletcher is the arm. Avin Fletcher had an absolutely dominating period in game 1 2 weeks ago, but they've handed the start to Luke.
Yeah, I guess they decided to mix it up a little bit, which Luke is a pretty accomplished pitcher himself, so I'm sure they're really confident in what he's going to bring today. And you know, Avin's there, I suppose, if they get into trouble at all. I think the key for Comets here are to just make things happen. I know that sounds simple, but if they can get the bat on the ball and just get the ball in play a lot more than they did last week, I think they're going to get some runs on the board. And the key is obviously to keep this game as close as possible into the late innings. Like I said, Tayport, who put up 3 in the first inning, they're gonna score some runs on you. So what you need to do is feel confident you can score them on the other side. And Comets have a really deep lineup too. You know, I've faced these guys quite a few times, and I know what they're capable of doing. So I guess the key to them is just get the ball in play, make things happen, do exactly what Tayport did there. And like I said, Tayport didn't really have to even really do too much in that first inning. So if you just get the ball in play, get on the base pass, move around the base pass, you're going to get some runs across the board.
I'm just looking back to see if we have one of Lasky's previous batting performances in the book here, but nothing is immediately coming to mind. But this is one of Tayport's advantages as well. They've been able to put Lasky in, which will give the Comets a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
Let's not face that. But the Comets are also going to be thinking, Avin Fletcher's in the bullpen.
Yeah.
But the baseball has no memory between plays. Neither should the teams. Just see what you can do with the next pitch, with the next batter, with the next base runner, with the next second base, the next third base. Work it through a moment at a time. And it's those moments that add up to this wonderful game that we call baseball. So you're at 1, 2, 3 coming in for the Glasgow Comets is going to be Alfredo Perez, Edixo Barrios, and JC Martez on that one there. As always, you can follow us, baseballscotland.co.uk. You'll find us in Baseball Scotland as well on Facebook. And I'll just hand John the "this is how you do" colour card. So if you want to join in and do commentary when we get to next year, we've got games playing in 3 different cities every weekend. And that first pitch comes in, and that's hit high and hard. It's going to go fall, and it's going to fall in between Gardner and Knox, between first and second. So that is going to be that's going to be a single. That's going to be first pitch for Alfredo Perez. First swing of the bat from Alfredo Perez first batter runner becomes a base runner in Alfredo Perez as well. A little bit of confusion there in the field, but errors are from physical misplays, not from mental miscues. So Alfredo gets himself a single on base, and that is going to be a great big boost for the Comets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what they're looking to do here today. Just get some guys on base any way you can. Get the bat on the ball and make things happen.
Foul off over in the first base dugout from Ediso Barrios, who has the highest batting average of the team at 4.55.
Ediso's new this year. He came in and we could all tell immediately this guy knew how to play. He's a real solid. He's a fantastic catcher behind the plate. You could see in the first inning with this throw down to second, and his bat is electric. So it'd be really fun to see what he's going to do here.
Alfredo Perez just having a little bit of fun out there at first base, trying to draw the throw, just trying to keep everybody off balance there. And runner goes first up to second, and it bounces out the catcher's glove there, so no opportunity for Lai to even make the decision to go up there. And Alfredo Perez takes a comfortable second base. His Scottish two-step successfully implemented, no outs, runner into scoring position.
Yeah, he got a really good jump on that, so I don't think they were going to get him, even if that was fielded cleanly.
And this is where the Comets, where you have the Breakers being explosive in games, where the Comets have been getting their victories throughout the year is in this small ball, unconventional almost base running.
Yeah, I mean, you have to try to make things happen. It's a 7-inning game. You've only got so many chances. You'd be surprised that you just look up and suddenly you're in the 4th and 5th inning. So I think you've got to take advantage. Every time somebody's on base, you got to try to get him over, because you don't know a couple things here and there, chip away, that runs across the plate.
Ediso Barrios in the batter's box now, batting right-handed, so stepping in from the left. Lasky just taking a glance up to second. Pitch comes down, and that's going to be high. Perez again just jinxing left and right, trying to keep the focus of the infield in two places at once. Where's the ball coming from? Where's the batter runner? Every bit of small advantage, every bit of mental gamesmanship. Pitch comes down, and that's hit there, but foul just in front of the plate. And a small roller. Look at the lead Perez gets on that one, more than 60 feet, 2/3 of the way down at third base on that one. He'll be like, could you not have made better contact?
Yeah, well, in that case, if he was, I don't know if he was stealing on that one, but that was just a foul tip off the catcher's mitt there. I think it might have hit Ediso as well, because he's holding his shin there.
Big thank you to everybody who is watching us online, both at the Baseball Scotland YouTube page, but also on TalkSport, as well as we bring Baseball Scotland and along with the NBL down at Farnham. British baseball national coverage. That's what the sport loves to see.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, I can't say this is a great day for baseball here, and that we got the weather for it. Light cool breeze, but this is a beautiful day for baseball.
1-2 pitch. It may be coming down at some point, but Perez jinxing again. If 1-2 comes down now, comes in low, and it's going to be strike three, grazing the bottom of the box there as Barrios watches that one go past. And our home plate umpire Thomas Haywood. Strikeout looking. And with that, we go into a little bit of picture once more.
Like I said, these Comets have a really deep lineup too. I'm just looking at all these different guys coming up. Every one of these is somebody you have to be careful with.
And they've got a strong bullpen today. 3 in the bullpen. Ediso, Flores, possibly Roberto Carlos as well, depending on how the game goes. Who is one of the single-A players. This is
he's
AAA, so we pick-off attempt up hit second in time, but out the glove, so Perez gets to live again. Paul Gardner making the move over to cover second base, but just a little bit too much pace on the ball, a little bit too much speed over the ground.
He's trying to just distract the pitcher a little bit. I think he knows he can get back. I mean, that was probably closer than you'd want it to be, but.
And ball goes inside there.
It's one of the duties of a base runner is to get in the pitcher's head a little bit and see if you can take him off his game.
And for those of you watching on either of our streams, do by all means leave your comments, ask questions, get in touch. And if not, just, runner goes from second over to third. Perez goes for in, and it's going to be a strike called. So stolen base is going to be taken there, 90 feet away from the first run. Tayport Breakers up 3 in the top of the first. In the bottom of the first here, 1 away, but no score as yet for the Comets. Tying run is on deck at the moment, and only 1, 2, 3. Yep, does the maths. That would be Ian Davidson. Quiet hush. Runner at third. Pitch comes down. Fast inside for a ball.
I can see what JC's trying to do. He's choking up a lot on the bat right now. He's just literally trying to get that ball in play. He knows the situation with the runner on third. He knows it's a fast runner too, so all he has to do is make some contact, get the ball on the ground somewhere, and the run will come across.
Pitch in, and that's inside as well for another ball. Luke Lasky. Much like Martez himself, just trying to get a feel of the zone, trying also to get a feel of the conditions. It is light wind, but that lower temperature, it's the pitchers that can feel that cold.
Oh, yeah.
3-1. Bounces in the ground, walk is given. Martez with a rather energetic throwaway off the bat. He's going to have to keep an eye on that. Emotions are what we want in the game. I think if he'd been struck out, that might have been a bit of an interesting one there.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was watching the ball there, but yeah, I think everyone's going to have some high emotions today. You know, both teams are looking to Comets obviously trying to stay in this, and Tayport want to put them away.
Runners at the corners, 1 away. Juan Suarez now second baseman for the Glasgow Comets, batting .371. One of the stronger hitters in the lineup, and there's a couple of opportunities here, and you've got to think there's going to be a steal opportunity that is going to be taken, if not on the first pitch, but on the second. And first pitch is still not taken, and he's going to go for a ball outside and low, 1-0.
Yeah, Luke will be wanting to get the ball over the plate here. He's had a little bit of control issues now. I think he's going to want to come back here with a hard strike.
Runner goes in the second pitch from first up to second. Long throw from catcher Shinyan Lai goes up. It's looping. It's intercepted halfway as the steal attempt goes down, and it's unsuccessful. Alfredo Perez there attempting to steal home on that play and not making it. Tagged out at home. And that is going to be a critical play for the Tayport Breakers. The steal attempt there from JC Martez from first up to second. And it was a long looping throw from the catcher, and it fell short. But it fell short enough that Luis Marino came in from shortstop, picked that up, rallied it, rifled it back down to home plate, and tag applied from Lai on Perez. So instead of getting that one run across the board, there are now 2 outs. And just the one runner in scoring position up at second as that pitch comes in from Lasky to Ian Davidson. High. In fact, do we have Ian there, or have we do we have a lineup change? We're just going to double check the lineup here. The chances are it's me, by the way, everybody.
So that would have been a...
Martez. No, it's still Suarez. Yes, because Suarez is stayed on the plate there. Ian Davison still on deck there, is warming up, and still represents the tying run.
That play would have been they would have set up that play. That was a perfectly executed first and third play by Tayport.
And on Suarez there, strike 3, inside retired, going for the low and outside ball, and converts that into the out. So it's a swinging strike 3 there. Just the one hit on the board there for the Glasgow Comets, but no runs coming off that one. Runner left on base, so it's Tayport Breakers 3, Glasgow Comets still to get off the board at the bottom of the first. Today's game is proudly supported by Home Run Travel, the UK's first and only baseball travel specialists. Whether fans are looking to join one of their annual tours or design a tailor-made itinerary across the US or Canada, Home Run Travel can help tick off every ballpark on the bucket list. Don't book your next baseball adventure without speaking to homeruntravel.co.uk. Your 1, 2, 3 for the top of the second from Tayport Breakers will be Joe Matthews, Tom Knox and Don Ang. I'm Ewan Spence.
I'm John Tave.
And we'll be back with you shortly. Get to the Comets. Tell us where you are. Welcome back. We're at the top of the second here at the Caledonia Classic AAA Game 2. It's the final. Tayport Breakers are one game to the good in the three-game series. And right now they're up by 3 as well. And they're coming in with Joe Matthews, Tom Knox and Don Ung as their 1, 2, 3. JC Martez is going to be staying out there and pitching. I'm Ewan Spence, show me John Tafe. For the colour here for Baseball Scotland. Pitch comes down and it's a swing and a miss, and Joe Matthews there and goes behind in the count straight away, 0-1. I think both teams will be able to draw some comfort from that first inning, John, because although the Comets are down by 3, it's not a huge amount. It's not one of those explosive innings we've seen from the Breakers occasionally.
I think what they'll want to do is get through this next inning by not letting any more runs across. I think what that first inning did show is they can make things happen. You know, this isn't a game where they can't get base runners and they can't get runs across. And 3 is not at all too much to make up here. So what they need to do at this side is play have some decent pitching and defense and get through this without any more damage, and then get on the other side and make a few things happen.
2-1 pitch is a line drive back over the mound and over second and goes into center field. So that's going to be a comfortable line drive base hit there. Joe Matthews from a 1-1 count there. Lasky opened up the first inning for the Breakers and got on base with a walk. Here it's Joe Matthews getting on base with a single. JC Martez just now marshalling the outfield there. Tom Knox coming in, and this is a strong 1-2-3. Matthews batting .429. Knox here on a 3-1-9 hits that one, and it just it stays fair down third base. Literally rolls to a stop there as it goes down the left field line.
They don't want that one back again. He nearly had the backhand. It would have made a great throw. It just nicked the end of his glove.
It's bounce to the field sometimes. Runners go up to first and second there. 2 hits to open up the 2 batters on the inning. Don Nung, I didn't finish those batting averages. 5.71 batting average from Don. So 49, 319, 571 for a bottom of the order. This is sneaky.
You do. There's no easy part of this lineup. You have to play every bit of
Pick-off
it.
attempt up at second is not in time. Keeps everybody honest, though. Joe Matthews back to the bag in time. It is a strong lineup, but that last three, you could put for the top three quite happily.
Yeah, and you will build your lineup that way. Sometimes you'll want to make sure you've got strength further down there as well, so that as they have, there's no part of this lineup you don't have to deal with.
Runners the first and second, no outs at the moment. Pitch comes down 2-0. That's going to be heads as that bounces. Apologies if I just blown the mic there, but we just got some kids and bikes short of somebody called Karen taking that up with a Pittsburgh jacket on. They're all okay.
So I think we had some catcher's interference here.
And a catcher's interference will hand everybody 90 feet and bring you up to first. So that brings up Don Ung now, and it's a bases loaded situation facing JC Martez here. Joe Matthews at third, Tom Knox at second. Now Don Ung at first, and it is back to the top of the order. And pitcher Luke Lasky. Luke drew a walk on a full count at the top of the first. There's the opportunity here, for, as we said there, one of those innings that the Breakers have delivered throughout the season of just boom.
Yeah, and they haven't had to do much to get here. That's the thing. I mean, I think Comets need to make them earn it at this point.
And that's grounds over to first base, goes to Ian Davison, hand picked up by second base on the cover. But we do get Joe Matthews coming home on that one there, so it's an RBI single. Everybody gets 90 feet and pushed around there. An unlucky bounce there from Ian Davidson. The first base kind of goes into a shallow here at Glasgow, so that just lets the ball slip underneath.
Yeah, unfortunately, he knew exactly what he was trying to do with that. He was trying to backhand it and throw it home, but again, it just took a little skip and it got by him.
So Joe Matthews puts run number 4 on the board. Tom Knox now over to the third, Don on up to second, Luke Lasky up on first. Thanks all for your comments as well. And I do love that if you build it, they still won't come. I get the reference there.
Oh, I think we might have an injury here.
We just had time called here, so let's just have a little look at the comments that we've got coming in. Thanks very much. As I said, Paul Acosta, if you build it, they still won't come. I do love the reference. Thank you very much. And you know what? This is how we build up baseball in Scotland and in the UK. The fact that we don't have a huge amount of people watching us on the stream it does matter, but it doesn't matter as well, because this is where grassroots come from. This is why you have important things like when we do have the MLB coming over to the UK to play a short series.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think, on a given day, at least here in Glasgow, you can have 100 people sitting here and watching the game. People sat up on the hill if you get a nice summer day, and so people really do enjoy coming out here. And as somebody who sort of found baseball here in Scotland 10 years ago, all you have to do is scratch the surface, and you realize how many people here are interested in baseball and are interested in either coming out and playing or certainly following it. So the interest is there. The interest is there, and I think what we've managed to do here at Baseball Scotland is now really build, I think, a really good level of baseball. Where we're playing now is, I would say it's certainly higher than when I joined. And the quality of the baseball that they're playing is really up on par with what you'd want to see here in the UK.
And we have that all over the UK. If you want to play baseball in Scotland, baseballscotland.co.uk, and we will get you in touch with your local club. There's opportunities to play, there's opportunities to umpire, to coach, and those who can't play talk about it. That would be me. Across the UK, there is a team finder at BSUK's website, Baseball Softball UK. So you can go there and it will tell you where your closest teams are, and there are a number of levels and opportunities all over as well. Again, playing, umpiring. Like any sport, there are lots of movement. You could even give yourself a go at the mystic power of scoring. There's not many of them. There's not many of them. If you know how to score, you're going to get quite high up rather quickly.
Yeah, that's one of the things we give some of the new players. People come along is we give them a scorebook, or which is now on an iPad, and ask them to try to score the games. That's awesome. I remember as a kid going to games and getting a program and scoring each one of the games.
So we are just in a short game delay here. We've just had some medical attention on to our catcher, and
I think what happened is the catcher's interference where the batter hits the catcher's glove because he's just maybe standing a little bit too close, sitting a little bit too close. It obviously is. I don't know what it's done to his finger, but he's getting it bandaged up there. As a catcher myself, I know that's always a dangerous thing. You're right there with somebody swinging a bat, so you have to watch your positioning.
so that's Ediso Barrios, the catcher. And we'll get ourselves underway again once more. We are at the top of the second inning here at Tollcross Park in Glasgow. The Tayport Breakers, one game up in the 3-game series for the Caledonia Classic, have been welcomed by the Glasgow 357 for the season. There's a Clint Eastwood reference in there somewhere, but that's probably more for our American listeners, shall we say. We do have some. Welcome to everybody watching from New Mexico. That's going to be Ethan's family from the Tayport Breakers. I think so. Anyway, hi there. Pitch comes down. Paul Gardner swings that one, pops that one up. It's going to first base. Ian Davidson loses his footing on that one, but it's going to fall foul there. And again, that dip at first base, just unsettling Ian Davidson at first for, I think that's maybe like the third play or so.
Yeah, that's a tough play with the sun here too. The sun's right in the first baseman's eyes, and that went up into the sky. And I think he just sort of lost it, and then as soon as he picked it up into the sky, and I think he just sort of lost it, and then as soon as he picked it up, he had sort of stepped over himself. So that's a tough play.
Not one on the count. Here comes that pitch, outside low for a ball, so we'll get that low equal, 1-1. Paul Gardner's been one of the more productive players in the Breakers in the postseason. And for the Tayport Breakers side, that is saying something there. Confusion there as the slow throw back from the catcher. Martez going, hold on a minute, we need to have some pace on that to make sure home isn't stolen. But I think we'd been called dead before that point. But nevertheless, the focus in its brief moments like that, both teams will be looking to both capitalize on and protect defensively.
Yeah, Comets here have made a couple defensive miscues, and I think they want to just try to sharpen that up a little bit. I think they all want to get right back into just playing to the next out here.
3-1 on the count, bases loaded, no outs as yet, and 4 runs to the good for the Breakers here. Paul Gardner swings on that one, and it's going to line out. It goes out to the outfield, center left. It's not caught. It's 1 run home, second one coming in, and it's going to be a hold up for 2 runs coming over. It's the 2 RBI for Paul Gardner, and gets the extra base to take himself up to second as well. Tom Knox comfortably coming over there. Donung making it round as well. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second. No outs as yet, with runners at second and third for the Tayport Breakers. And that is the sort of concentration that you need now to retain. You need to put up those 6 runs behind you, whether you are the Breakers or the Comets. You just need to keep playing smart, I'd say small baseball, but reaching the fence on that one there, falling a little bit short.
It does sound simple, but like on both sides, you just have to play the next out.
Harry, that one there, it's just going to go on the warning track around second base there. So first base was open, so it's now full up there. But again, another 90. In fact, we're getting called as a fair catch. Called as fair catch out at second base. So there's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, they'll be glad to get that. They'll be glad to get an out here. So playing with no outs versus 1 out is a different story here.
And that's going to be hit long by Ethan Dick, and it's going out to shallow right field. That's going to be a catch out there as well. So from a bases loaded situation that saw 2 runs come home, 2 outs immediately put up on the board as well.
That was a really nice catch by the center fielder too. He had to break on that, come in, and had to turn to a basket catch.
That's
Really nice
there. Shin Lai singled in the first, 2 away, first base is open. And this is where somebody like Ian Davidson up on first has to try and focus, because the catch he didn't make, if that had been made, they would be off the field now.
Yep, but that's the past. You know, you have to play just for the next out. You can't change any of that, so you got to play for the next out. Comets just need to have confidence that they can start to make things happen on the other side, but it's just playing for this out right now.
It looks like a 2-0 count, a little bit of gust of wind there.
There you go.
And that's a pop-up from Shin Lai. That's going to go out towards second base. Basket catch attempted, and that bounces out Juan Suarez's gloves, and it brings another run home on that one there. That is going to be home on error and reach on error, I feel.
I think we might be underestimating how much this wind is affecting the game now.
It certainly just picked up there in the last
yeah,
minute or two.
So I think a couple of these pop flies have been much more difficult to track than maybe I realized. Because that one there, I think Juan had to drift over to it in a way that usually he'll plant himself right underneath it. So that was, I think, a tougher play than it looked.
4 runs on the board now in this inning, 2 away, with runners at first and third at the corners. Stepping in now is going to be Luis Marino. 9th batter faced by J.C. Martez, so everybody in the order is going to have had a go in the second innings for the Tayport Breakers. Shin Lai just fakes the steal there. Tries to draw the ball coming out, but Barrios not letting that one get past and open up home plate for the steal. Next pitch comes down, and that's going to line drive out to left field, brings one more run home. Paul Gardner's there. Runners go up to first and second now. Shin Lai up to scoring position second. Luis Marino there with an RBI. They're never standard, but solid line out to center left field, lots of distance. You're going to get one home. You're going to make it to base successfully, placed perfectly.
That's the kind of hit that feels really good on the bat. You just a solid swing. You probably hardly feel it. You just see it loft right over the shortstop's head. Really nice hit.
And that one's going to be pop-up foul, and just sneaks over the dugout. As we set round the order, we go. Joe Matthews now, second appearance in the inning. Singled previously in a 1-1 count. Runners at first and second, and that goes into the dugout down the right base line. That's Tayport Breakers playing in that dugout there. Breakers with dark blue trim and all grey. Comets playing in light blue tops and grey at the bottom. Ooh. And there's going to be a hit by pitch there. And that is going to load the bases up once more. And we talked earlier about the chances of an inning that would just break open the game. This inning is starting to have that feel now with 5 on the board, 2 outs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like in the last game where they just had that inning they couldn't get out of. But, you know, we're still only in the second inning. I think the key is to play the outs here. Grab this ball and step on a base. There you go.
That's line drive straight back to Martez, who gets the glove in the way. And that is one of those catches you like to put in your pitcher's highlights reel for the 3rd out of the inning there.
That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Maybe that can be a little spark for the Comets now, too. You know, they have a little work to do, as we know. But they were making things happen in the first inning, so they just need to start to chip away here.
5 runs on the board for a total of 8 there in the top of the second, coming off 6 hits. 3 left on base for the Tayport Breakers. And as we get ready to head into the bottom of the second, a big thank you out to our supporters for today's game, Home Run Travel, the specialist travel agents who offer tailor-made baseball trips for UK fans with itineraries across the US and Canada. Don't leave home without calling Home Run Travel. Your 1, 2, 3 for the Glasgow Comets coming up. It's going to be Ian Davidson, David Flores, and Nate Strauser. Welcome back as we go into the bottom of the second here for Game 2 of the Caledonia Classic AAA and Baseball Scotland. Tayport Breakers are up by 8. Glasgow Comets looking to get on the board here, and they do need to get on the board because the Breakers are 1 game up in the 3-game series. Luke Lasky remains pitching for the Breakers and goes in there for an attempted bunt from Ian Davidson that pops that foul out into the dugout of the Tayport Breakers.
That was a nice idea. He's trying to just get something happen here. I think he knows if they can get the ball in play, they can get some base runners, things can start to happen for him.
And that one's going to go outside and low, so we're 1-1 on the count. As I did say, thank you to everybody out there who's watching on the YouTube live stream. So thank you for joining us as popped up and goes over the commentary booth there into the scrub behind us. Sorry, into the massive 10,000 strong bleachers that we have behind us. We're not turning the, we don't have that there. But we do have there Glasgow Tollcross Park. We do play in various parks around Scotland, and we bring in 20 or 30 for the crowds.
We did have somebody message us a couple years ago and ask what the tickets cost for us, and they were delighted to know that we currently do not charge.
It's like, again, as always, for the Comets, Sir Exelot, loving the name. Well, it's no banana ball. We have I think we do a banana ball game in the summer. We didn't get around to televising it this year, but we will see what we can do for you. Give us a follow on the youtube.com Baseball Scotland page, and get your alerts and get your watch backs as well. We've got our games from the Summer Cup that we recorded in August. We'll be putting those back up again as live over the next 6 weeks or so. So plenty Baseball Scotland action for you, even though we're in a postseason Game 3 here. There's a hefty swing and a miss there from David Flores. And pitch there, and that's just going to be pushed foul directly back. Very short backstop here, so there's not a lot of distance. So when it does come to considering whether you want to steal on the wild pitch and pass ball, it's really only if they sort of lose sight of the ball rather than getting some
you
distance.
do have to judge. You don't have a whole lot of room back there. It also means you can't really catch many foul balls either.
And that's the ground that goes back, bounces once in front of Luke Lasky, takes that over to first base himself. Threatens to underarm it to Tom Knox base. Like, you know what? I like the stretch. I'm going to outrun that there. So David Flores out for the second out on an unassisted ground out there.
That's one way to reduce any risk involved. Is to just take it yourself.
And I suppose that is that. You know, there's not been that many out of play throws, but it is a feature at all of the parks in Scotland that there isn't a big stop there.
Yeah, there isn't. You don't have a wall, so if the ball gets behind either the first baseman or the third baseman, it's quickly out of bounds and it's an extra base. So always playing it safe is important.
Nate Strasser gets a strike through on that one, so it's not in one. Strasser's one of the big hitters in the Comets lineup. Coming in here's .350 for the season. So we're 2 away, no runners on as yet. Breakers, this is what the Breakers are looking for. They'll be looking for a 3-up, 3-down. They'll be looking to take away any opportunity for the Comets to get onto the board. Yeah,
so, I mean, the Breakers can now play a pretty easy game. They don't have to worry about too much. They don't have to worry about any particular runners getting on base. They've got a nice pad. You know, they can play relaxed. So that is to their advantage right now. And I think Comets need to crash that a little bit. They need to break that up and make them start to feel a little bit more nervous.
1-1 comes down.
The only way to do that is to get some base runners.
What they've not got to do is start chasing.
Yeah,
they need to keep their plate discipline.
And realize that this isn't going to happen with any one at bat or any one inning. They're going to have to chip away.
And hits that one there. Line drives out, but it's going to be a comfortable catch out there in left field. Donong takes that one out of the sky. So it is a 3-up, 3-down. And with that, no hits coming off there. No more runs caught back in any chance. That 8-run deficit that the Comets were facing, that deficit is still there. Today's game proudly supported by Home Run Travel, the UK's first and only baseball travel specialist. Whether fans are looking to join one of their annual tours or design a tailor-made itinerary across the US or Canada, Home Run Travel can help tick off every ballpark on the bucket list. Don't book your next baseball adventure without visiting homeruntravel.co.uk. That's 2 play through the regulation 7, Tayport Breakers 8, Glasgow Comets 0. Breakers will be looking to push that lead out as they go to the top of the third. Your 1-2-3 will be Don Ung and Luke Lasky and Paul Gardner. I'm Ewan Spence.
I'm John Tafe.
And this is Baseball Scotland having a little break here. Back with you in about a minute. Welcome back to the top of the third here at Tollcross Park in Glasgow, as the Glasgow Comets 1 game down, or 8 runs behind the visitors Tayport Breakers. Breakers looking to win this game and lift the Caledonia Classic Trophy. I'm Ewan Spence, joined by Baseball Scotland President John Tafe on colour, and we still have JC Martez coming into the third inning. So, you're the Breakers, your 8 runs up. How do you play this one?
I mean, you play pretty easily. You don't push things too much. I mean, it's the Comets who have to try to make the plays and get the outs and get it back onto hitting. So, I think for the Breakers now, they can play a very easy game. I suppose the thing I got to watch out for is they don't take too much for granted. This Comets team is a really good team. They didn't get here by accident. They got here because they're one of the best teams in the league, and so you can't take your foot off the gas.
And are some defensive lineup changes as we go through here. So catcher Edixo Barrios is moving into the DH role. So Andy Vaughan is moving up into right field from there. David Flores moving over from right field to left field, and coming into catch is centre fielder Perez, and as I said there, Barrios going out to DH. Gets underway again, as that's going to come in high. Moment of gather, understanding the wind. That pitch is down, and that's going to go inside there. And one more ball drawn there. It's a 3-0 count. Plenty time to decide if you're going to swing. Not on that one. And it's a 3-1 count there. And the walk is going to be drawn there. Lasky up to first on the walk. Paul Gardner stepping in now after a single and a double. Oh. And that's going to be a hit by pitch there.
He was struck out.
So runners at first and second now. Lasky reaching on the walk. Paul Gardner on a hit by pitch. Which runners at first and second. Avon Fletcher now reached on error and out on pop up to third base previously. Tayport Breakers 8 runs up. One out in the pocket already. And a pick-off attempt up at second. And that's a dive back to the bag in time. Tag applied though as well, so millimeters in that one. But an over. The second I looked down at my scoreboard, something interesting happens, John.
So he threw it back to the pitcher. One threw it back to the pitcher, and I think he was trying to do either a hidden ball or a very quick throw back, and Juan wasn't ready for it, so it went out to center field.
So runners at the corners now. Luke Lasky over at third, Paul Gardner at second. Avon Fletcher is watching a little bit of hijinks. Should we go with hijinks on that one?
Yeah, why not?
Runner goes from first up to second, and that's a hit high and hard. I think it's going to go foul, though, down right field line. Distance is there, but needed to just pull that a little bit further into the field there.
I would say in general, JC's not pitching a bad game here. He's kept Avon off his stride a little bit here, getting him to I think he grounded out and popped out. So I think we're what's lost here is JC has been keeping the ball over the plate, and he's been mostly throwing strikes. They've obviously got a few hits, but I think it's between the miscues and some of the overthrows, that's where the Comets have got themselves into trouble.
2-1 on the count. And definitely a bit of athleticism coming through there. Runner goes from first to second. Paul Gardner takes the steal. Although the walk is given to Evan Fletcher there, so it was going to happen anyway.
And that's really what you don't want to do. You don't want to start getting more and more base runners here. I guess pitching around Avon's not always a terrible idea, but this lineup's so deep, I think you really do have to deal with what's in front of you.
Ethan Dick comes in, batting left-handed. Martez once more facing a bases-loaded situation. None of those bases-loaded situations have resulted in a massive loss of runs, but they've just been chipping away the Breakers.
Yeah, I mean that's
attempt goes up over to third, and it's going to be an overthrow there from Catcher Perez. So that is going to let one run come home, but it's taken time to come back in from the outfield. So it's going to be two home there as well. Luke Lasky and Paul Gardner, and top of the third here, put two more onto the board, and with that. You have the Tayport Breakers going into double figures. And while we're unofficial here, I think that does go down on the catcher's pile on that one.
That's that's a tough one. I mean, he threw it there, but it bounced well in front of the bag. So I think that would be an error on the catcher there. I don't think there's any way Nate could have caught that.
So just Evan Fletcher up in scoring position at second base now. And one away.
I mean, I get what Comets are trying to do. They're trying to steal outs here and there, but they're maybe pushing things a little bit too hard.
And the walk drawn there. Ethan Dick will probably be thinking that he could have done more there as a batter, but in terms of situation on the game, that goes down as a good at-bat.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take a walk anytime, especially in this situation. I mean, they don't need to push anything. That's what I'm saying. Breakers are well in command here. They can just sit back and let the game come to them. It's a very, very nice situation to be in. Comets are going to start running out of time here. They're going to have to start to get these outs and then start to put some pressure on them on the other side. You know, there's still a lot of baseball left. So, you know, you can have a game that starts one way and ends up another. So this is, the Comets really have to think that there's still more game left, and they can't just start to give up.
Pitcher to short, short to left, left to pinch.
Pitcher to short, short,
Yeah.
And we just have a line. Let's just have a little look what that is meaning, and that's good. It's an interesting one here coming through for the Tayport. So Lasky is coming out of pitching there, and we will just get the. No, that's the wrong way around. It's Glasgow Comets that are going through the changes there as well. So I'll just turn the page over. So that puts JC Martez out of the pitcher's mound and bring in David Flores there. We'll get Martez's final record in a second. Tyler Spencer is going to head out to left field. And that's probably going to put JC Martez into his second favourite position, which is shortstop. So going into 1 out in the third inning, and we are into the bullpen. And
it's a smart move. I mean, they're trying to see if they can control some of the damage here. Like I said, Comets are having to stop the bleeding. I know David last week kept this Tayport lineup really off balance. He was pretty effective through about 3 or 4 innings. So let's see if he has it in him today.
The interesting thing here is now how the Breakers react to it, because they've been through, a lot of them have seen Jace Martinez. Now they would have seen Flores earlier in the season as well, but this will be the first time that they're seeing them in the game today. And we have a movement around in the outfield, so there's almost the opportunity here for the Comets to have that sort of mental reset. I'm standing in a different place.
Well, I think that's what they need to do. They need to see this as a new game starting right now. There's still a fair amount of baseball left to play. All they can do at this point is control what's happening on the field, and then bring it back in, and then see if they can make things happen at the other side and put some pressure on.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lineup changes in the defense there. I'm having fun keeping track of all of these. People go, why do you like having a colour commentator? Because it's the person that keeps an eye on things when I have to put my head down and work out all the other new positions and numbers. Okay, you 1, 2, 3 now for the Breakers with a 1 away is Shinyin Lai, Luis Marino, and Joe Matthews. We are in the top of the third. Tayport Breakers on 10 runs at the moment, 2 going up this inning. And the Glasgow Comets still to get off the board. So we are back underway now with Flores throwing its first pitch down of the game and gets a strike on that one as the just curves down to the bottom of the zone. Alberti Rodriguez in as the relief catcher. Not one. And Flores is twitching back to look at second base. We have runners at first and second. Ethan Dick at first, Ivan Fletcher at second. Both of them have got speed in their legs. And that one's going to be just clipped foul back. Takes us 0-2. So if we look back in last week's game, Flores through 4 innings only let through 2 runs, although if we just add it up, I think it's actually credited with 5 after leaving bases loaded situation, I believe. That one's fouled back there once more. Shinyin Lai staying alive. So count remains 0-2. So if Flores can find the form that he had in game 1, that should keep the Breakers' run count as
that's what
it's
you
at
want.
10
Yeah.
at the moment. You'd like to stay at 10 for the rest of the game, really.
What you're hoping is that he can have that same effect of just keeping them a little bit off balance.
0-2 becomes 1-2.
You know, David doesn't have a lot of his overpowering stuff that he's had in maybe early in the season and in previous years, but he's a very, very smart pitcher. And so
It's going to be popped up again, but it's in range of first baseman Ian Davidson. Walks into foul territory and gets that in the glove there. It's his second out.
And that's the kind of stuff you want. You want them to make some weak contact, get some easy outs, and get through these innings.
Luis Marino comes now. The Tayport Breakers shortstop struck out looking in the first inning. Singled in the second. Sun starting to come round into the pitcher's eyes and into the batter's box. Commentary table still in dark, cold shadows. Or as we call it in Scotland, summer. Pitch there, and it's grounders, goes up between shortstop and second, rolls into the outfield. And there you have Fletcher passing third, putting the speed on, and can just say standing up there. So it's a standing up there for the run coming in there as well. Ethan Dick just holding up at second. But Luis Marino there with an RBI single.
And not much you can do about that. Just really good contact right back up the middle.
And that's a ball that goes outside and low on Joe Matthews. Joe with a single and a hit by pitch on the card so far for a 1-1 game. Teammates at first and second. And smart contact there, goes over the head of the third base there, Nate Strauser, so the run's going to come in there as well. It's a throw back into Flores, who's covering home plate, but far enough in the distance there.
That was tough. I think it might have got off the end of Nate's glove as well. I think he really wished he could have got that one.
That's a one more run home there. It's going to be an RBI single there as well. Runners at first and second. Luis Marino up at second after his RBI single. Joe Matthews at first on his RBI single. Tom knocks into bat now and grounds that one. Goes up, picked up. Possibly actually hits the foot of Luis Marino and the Breakers as he runs between second and third. Certainly it was appealed for, but that's not going to be awarded on that one there. So that's going to be a single awarded or a fielder's choice. Well, if I was scoring that game, I would probably fielder's choice on that one, I think.
I think that's a tough call. I'd give that a single. I think that was a tough play to make.
Irrespective of that, the situational awareness is a simple one. It's 2 outs, but the bases are loaded. Strike awarded there. And that's hit high and hard. It's going to be shallow left field. It's coming in for that one. It's just going to be out of reach for Andy Vaughan there. So there's one more run over the plate. There's 2 more runs over the plate there. As that hit out, hung in the air long enough with 2 outs. You've got to wait for ground contact. And when it hit, Luis Marino in from third, Joe Matthews in from second.
Oh, I think that the wind and the sun took that one. That was a tough play.
And it's going to be a double and 2 RBI there for Dunung as we go back to the top of the order. Runners at second and third. And that's a smart line drive. Blocked there by second base. 1-2 arrives. Pops that down to first base. Not going to be in time. Called safe there. One more run comes over the board in that one as we get a little bit of an RBI avalanche here. And the Breakers are just digging in at every single opportunity there. Luke Lasky picking up an RBI single on that one. Perhaps a little bit fortunate.
Yeah, the Breakers just making a lot of contact here, and they're getting some results out of it.
So we have Luke Lasky at first base. Second base is unoccupied. Dunung is over at third. Paul Gardner in with a single, a double, and a hit by pitch.
That was a nice curveball by David.
Paul Gardner on a mission to do some Pokemon and collect them all. He's still got to get a triple. He's still got to get a home run. Hits that one hard. It's a line drive. Goes past third base. It's going to be fair. Goes.
I think that's a foul ball.
Yep. Had a ground rule double distance there. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that'd have been all sorts of trouble if that was fair.
Not to count for Martez to pitch into. He opened up. That's going to go high and loop, so it takes us to 1 and 2. Jason's Flores come in and he opened up with the pop out, but every batter has found a hit off him so far.
Yeah, they're making contact. It's just you're trying to get weak contact from these batters, and some of them are just, you know, they're very good hitters, and so
Goes outside low, so count goes 2-2 high, and Luke Lasky takes himself up to second, so 2 into scoring position now. Paul Gardner on a 2-2. $15-run lead so far for the Tayport Breakers. And that's going to fill the count up there, 3-2, as that curves down outside and low. First base is open, 2 outs. And that's going to be called. It's going to be called strike 3.
Came back with a little bit of gas there. That was a nice pitch.
And with that, that's the 3 outs of the inning. But it's going to be one of those innings where, when we look back, we're going to wonder just how consequential that is going to be. 7 runs on the board for the Tayport Breakers to taking them to 15. We'll explain why that number is important when we come back for the bottom of the third. That's coming off 5 hits. And it is going to be 2 left on the base there as well. An inning that you have to think Tayport Breakers will be thinking that's going to get us so much closer to the trophy. We're playing a regulation 7, although when we do get to the end of the 5th inning, and if you have a 15-run lead or more, the game will be called at that point. Today's game is supported by Home Run Travel, the specialist travel agents who offer tailor-made baseball trips for UK fans with itineraries across the US and Canada. Don't leave home without calling Home Run Travel. John, are you a Mets fan?
I'm not a huge Mets fan, no.
Okay,
But
you would have liked Home Run Travel's recent itinerary because they were all of those games that the Mets lost.
Oh, they're very good. You know, I'm from Boston, so I'm a Red Sox fan, and any New York team I don't have huge affinity for. I also remember the 1986 World Series, and so those scars run deep.
Yeah. Giants here. I have scars this month, let alone going back to 1986.
A Giants fan, did you say you are?
Yeah.
Well, they had a run there. I thought they might try to do it.
Yeah,
so.
The problem is they have to have a run over 160 games, not 6 games.
Yeah, true.
I'm Ewan Spence. I'm going to take a brief pause here as John Tafe and I are going to find out just how many people we've upset in the comments back on YouTube. If that's you, let us know. Back in 2. We gassed too much there. Bottom of the third now underway, and we are going to have Tyler Spencer, Andy Vaughan, and Alberti Rodriguez stepping in now. And this is where discipline in the mind becomes a key factor for the Comets. Just because they're down by 15, let's be fair, if the Breakers can put up 15, there's no reason the Comets can't put up 15.
That's true, and I think what they have to do is just believe in themselves. You know, like I said, you just want to try to make some things happen. At this point, you can't think about trying to score 15 runs. That's too big a mountain to climb. You have to think about just getting somebody on and somebody around, and then somebody on and somebody around. And what you have to hope is after a few innings doing that, you look up at the scoreboard and suddenly it looks achievable.
Just the one defensive change that we've got so far. Roberto Carlos comes into the game. And it looks like he's going to be coming into the DH spot when we come through to the top of the 4th. But right now, bottom of the 3rd. Comets chasing 15. Ewan Spence are behind in the count, 1-2. Luke Lasky, opening pitcher for the Breakers, still in there, and that's going to be strike 2 coming in now. So 1-2. Get the count on the nose, and fouls that one flat and hard down right field line. We sit there at 1-2. Pitch comes down. Golf swing to lift that out, but it doesn't make contact, so that's going to be strike 3 and 1 away. Thomas Spencer's first at bat of the game, and we've been playing over an hour and a half, or coming up for an hour and a half on that one there. Andy Vaughan in now.
Oh, I think that was Andy Vaughan who just struck out.
In which case we'll have Alberti Rodriguez in. Rodriguez batting 176 coming in. First appearance in the plate for the Glasgow Comets today. Caledonia Classic Game 2. Tayport Breakers 1 game ahead in the 3-game series. Lasky throws another strike down. There's not been a huge amount of strikeouts in the game so far, it has to be said.
No, both pitches are hittable here.
Fast and hard, and that's going to fall foul but safe into the rhododendrons. Rhododendrons? Oh, the camera can't turn around. I can name my plants when nobody's watching.
I think the Comets just have to believe that they can do it. They can get a few runners on base and make a few things happen.
And that's again fouled back again. Something into the rhododendron bushes. Those last 2 pitches want to make a family. Alberti Rodriguez just needs to take this pitch by pitch. Make smart decisions about which to swing and which to leave. Leans back and lets that one go high for a ball. Count is equal high, 2-2. And foul back. John, you'll find a little box mark. How many times did they try to kill the commentators? You just put 1 in there.
That was coming straight at us.
Yeah, I'll just check where Reuben is with his glove. Oh yeah, running away. Settles in, are we? 2-2, 3-2. And one more ball coming in. That's a full count, so foul out or action, take your pick. 3-2 payoff.
And that's fine. I think that's what they need here. They need some base runners.
Rodriguez takes the walk up to first.
I think if Comets could start to see a couple runs cross the plate, it might give them a little bit of a boost here.
Each swing can make a difference.
Yep, just want to make sure people aren't trying to do it with one swing, because that's not going to happen. You're going to have to keep the line moving.
Alfredo Perez, we're back to the top of the order, singled to open up the game, and that's going to go wild pitch. That's going to allow Alberti Rodriguez to head up to second. Second runner into scoring position for the Comets. Alfredo Perez managed that off his single in the first, and he's in at bat now. Every single pitch, the condition of the game changes. You need to think what you're going to do with this new condition. And we get a ball coming in there for second ball coming in high. That one going a touch inside as well. Steele goes from second to third, and that's going to be grounded into past third base. But the throw is going to be over there from Ethan Dyke over to Tom Knox and first base, and that's going to be a 5-3 and retire the side. So one up into scoring position there, coming off a walk, but nothing else on the board from that one. Glasgow Comets still to get off the mark there. No runs in that innings, no hits, but just the one left on base. Today's game, as we mentioned, is proudly supported by Home Run Travel, the UK's first and only baseball travel specialist. Whether fans are looking to join one of their annual tours or design a tailor-made itinerary across the US or Canada, Home Run Travel can help tick off every ballpark on the bucket list. Don't book your next baseball adventure without speaking to Home Run Travel. We are going to head into the top of the fourth of the regulation 7. When we get there, Avon Fletcher, Ethan Dick and Shinyin Lai, well, there on the bit of paper, that should be your 1, 2, 3 coming up. I'm Ewan Spence.
And I'm John Tave.
Welcome back as we go into the top of the fourth here at Tollcross Park and game 2 of the Caledonia Classic AAA final. Tayport Breakers up by 1 in the series and with a comfortable lead here, as I said, as we go into the fourth. Been around the order now twice in the last 2 innings. Digging in now, Avon Fletcher will be lead-off hitter. Ethan Dick and Shinyin Lai. Second and third, David Flores is going to remain on the mound. Relief pitching into the second inning, and that one's going to go outside and low. Avon Fletcher ahead in the count 1-0 straight away. Big thanks to John Tave joining in the colour commentary there for the first half of the game. As president, he has another duty, and that is to keep an eye on the trophy, so we may or may not be needing that. You can see a golf swing from Avon Fletcher there. Equalises the count up 1-1. So the trophy will go into standby, and there are still the innings to play here as we go through regulation 7. Although we will just do a check on the score at the end of the 5th. For the run differential rule, which may kick in at that point. 1-1 pitch comes down. Check swing there, but it's going to be called strike 2. So 1-2 there on Avon Fletcher, who reached on error, popped up and walked. So it's a 0-1 game so far for Avon. Flores making the decision on the pitch coming down now. He'll take that one there, but it's hit and lofted high and hard and long. It's just going to fall foul down the left line, and Fletcher there showing sort of power and dominance that he's been threatening to unleash for the home game. Lead-off runner delivering a home run would have been an interesting emotional hit for both teams, both positive and negative. But as it is, we're going to go for a 1-2 once more. That comes in and that's popped up high. It's coming towards commentary table. It's just going to land short.
Yeah, hitting the editor.
So that's 2 into the column of trying to kill the commentary team. Thanks all for everybody who's watching on the streams as well. You like, love, share, subscribes, and all the usual. As we head around Scotland, the United Kingdom, and the world. Thank you all very much for your eyes, and we hope you're enjoying the game. 1-2, once more. It's going to go outside, takes us equal high, 2-2. Evan Fletcher just letting patience be his guide throughout the rest of the at-bat. The distance and power is there if Flores leaves it hanging. Lead-off hitter, so bases are empty. 2-2 comes in, and that's popped up, and it goes into the glove from Ivan Fletcher's banded Ian Davidson. Relatively flat trajectory, but it's one away. So that neuters the power of Ivan Fletcher. Ethan Dick steps in now. Walk, fly out, and walk so far in the game. First time facing Flores in the game and gets himself ahead in the count. This 1-0 pitch comes down. Tays takes swing on that one, hits that again. It's high, but it's going to be shallow left, and that's going to be taken out by Juan Suarez at second base. So it's 2 up, 2 down. Shin Lai stepping in now. And curveball there, not quite reaching the zone, so it's 1-0 and ahead in the count. Lai with a single on error and a pop out so far. And hits that one, pop up as well. And it is going to head into foul territory and out of reach there of third base Nate Strauser. Swing and a miss there. Flores takes the Comets ahead in the count, 1-2. Comes in there, it's a reach because it's on the outside, but it's going to be hit, contact made. It's going to bounce fair in the left field, so it's a single and on base for Shin Lai, first base runner for the 4th inning. After the line out and pop out so far for Evan Fletcher and Ethan Dick. Luis Marino steps in now. 2 for 3 so far. Strikeout looking, single and single. Both of those singles, curiously though, were RBIs. So we've got step 1 of the Scottish 2-step. Step 1, get on first. Step 2, steal second. As that pitch bounces round in the dirt behind the catcher. Glove safely traps it though. Not taking a huge lead out there at first. And strike called there as we go. Equal out. 1-1. And that goes outside. Flores looking to try and just drop those in and try and tempt those swing on the balls that are going outside and dropping down. It's a 2-1 count. Runner still at first, 2 away. And a pitch there is going to be a chopped foul, this time going down left field line. So count equal high, 2-2. Pick-off attempt not in time over at first, but keeps everybody honest. Ian Davison just stepping there, get the glove in the way. And that pitch is going to be high and well above even our umpire Thomas Hayward's head. Have the count up. Go 3-2 on the count. And that's going to be pulled foul down left line. Luis Marino running up Dave Flores' pitch count. Still in the 4th inning. Roberto Carlos and still in the bullpen as well as an option. Is that one's going to be a popped up, flies out into a center field, and that's going to be dropped out of the glove, so ball stays fair. So it's going to be a reach error on one. Advances up to second on the play, but Shinyan Lai takes off from first round, second round, third, and he's going to carry on round there and put one more onto the board for the Tayport Breakers. And Lewis official scoring, as I said, is not next to me, but Luis Marino reaching base on error, and then taking himself round. Fouls that one back. Marino in scoring position up at second base. Comes around the stadium. Next one comes in. It's high and swung on, but it's tiny bit of contact, so it just flips off the end of the bat. It's Joe Matthews receiving that one there. 2-for-2 game. There's a hit by pitch in there as well, so reached base 3 appearances out of 3. And that one's going to go for all outside as well. Flores losing a little bit of control here after strong opening. The line drive and pop it up to second. Since then the counts have filled up and it's more going to the outside and low. It's just trying to find a space in the corner there, but just not quite getting there. Luis Marino up there on second. Settle in once more, and there's another outside low for ball 4. Walk given to Joe Matthews, and that takes him up to first base. Luis Marino and already made it up to second, but 2 away. Runners in first and second. One more run on the board in this inning for the Breakers. Pitch comes into Tom Knox. 2 singles and a fast line drive straight into the glove at that point of JC Martez. Now getting the pitching from David Flores. That one pushed foul down third base line. Equal low count. Runners at first and second. 2 away in the inning so far. First 2 batters retired, next 3 have all reached. Pitch comes in, and that's hit line drive. Goes out, bounces in centre left field. And we're ground rule double by the looks of it. So one of those runs is going to come home. Tom Knox there. Probably preferred it to bounce and stop in front of the first to see triple was on there in terms of the distance, but slips underneath the fencing here at Tollcross. So it's an RBI ground rule double, 2 across in the inning so far. Joe Matthews now standing at third, Tom Knox at second. Donang stepping in now. I do love the coaches running over to me. We didn't think you'd have a go this inning, but we've done a line-up change. So we've got a pinch hitter in for Don Ang. It's going to be Mikey McDonald in for the Breakers. We'll just wait to see if Mikey's going to stay in left field when we get to the next inning. But Mikey McDonald, as you said, in there in for the pinch hitter. Flores brings that one down, and it's going to be the called strike for Norton 1. Runners are at second and third following an RBI ground rule double. And swing taken on that one there, so it's not in 2. Chance for Flores now to close out the inning. Limit the damage to 2 runs, and that ball floats in high, so it's going to go 1 and 2. First base is open. Runners at second and third. Neither, but it's a swinging strike, so it's side retired there from Mikey McDonald as the third out. 2 more runs on the board in that inning, coming off 2 hits as well. 2 left on base. Numbers of 2s coming through there. It's Tayport Breakers, 17, and Glasgow Comets still to get off the board. No runs registered as yet. Today's game is supported by Home Run Travel, the specialist travel agents who offer tailor-made baseball trips for UK fans with itineraries across the US and Canada. Don't leave home without calling Home Run Travel, www.homeruntravel.co.uk. Your 1-2-3 for the Glasgow Comets as they look to chase down that lead. Looks like we have Roberto Carlos coming in. JC Martez and Juan Suarez will be up at the bottom of the 4th shortly. Bottom of the 4th here. The Tayport Breakers are looking to keep their lead preserved. Glasgow Comets looking to get off the board 0 and start climbing up the runs. Roberto Carlos steps in now. And Just a check swing there. Luke Lasky remains on the bump for the Tayport Breakers. Yeah, that's going to go speedy but low. One more ball as Carlos quickly steps back from that one. And steps back once more and lets that one go just a touch inside. And low as well for one more ball. 3-1 pitch decided by Lasky and catcher Lai. Here it comes. Swung on, it's a bouncer, and he gets underneath Lasky's arms, gets picked up by shortstop, thrown over to first base. Going to be in time there, the relay from Marino down to Tom Knox there. Little bouncing grounder there from Carlos Lasky, hoping to get that, but leaving that for the shortstop to be picked up after that and heading on. So that's one away here as the sun ducks behind the clouds. And that is going to have a little bit of an impact on our camera here. And it's so high up we can't get to the brightness controls. Fast strike one there to JC Martez. Hits the bottom of the zone. Lasky's arm still finding the speed there. You can just see the sunlight line creeping across Tollcross Park here. Lining conditions up and down here for the players as well. And that one's going to go fast but outside low. Montez will take that one there. And that one's hit towards third base, picked up there, smart throw over. A little bit of a stumble, but it's going to be a safe catch, and Tom Knox takes just a little moment to make sure of that one, and it's going to be 5-3. Just checking on the chat with you. Somebody asking on the Mercy rule, it kicks in at the bottom of the 5th inning, and currently we're in the bottom of the 4th. And that rule is a 15-run differential. At the moment, our differential is 17, so Comets, while they're chasing the big number, have a smaller number to chase as well. Gene Strouser saying, hey from Idaho. I suspect a relation. That's swung on there and missed for Juan Suarez.
Kicked off the bat onto my arm.
He's actually going for so say we're just taking a moment just to shake that one off. Two up, two down so far. Both coming from Granite plays shortstop to first and then third base over to first. We're on 1-2 here. As that comes in fast and high. An equal high to 2-2. More brings that in, and that's going to be swung on. So our previous one, it was actually called ball, has been noted there. So we are back at 2-2. Going for low and outside again. And that's going to be fouled off into the tree. 5 leaves fall. So 2-2 remains. Has there ever been a double mercy rule sweep in the finals? Being asked there in the comments. I'll have to check the history books on that one. We're not there yet though. But it is close. That's strike 3, and the side retired with a 3 up, 3 down. No runs scored on that inning. None left on base. No hits either. It's a straight 3 up, 3 down there for the bottom of the 4th. We have a regulation 7, but as noted, we do have a run differential rule at the end of the 5th inning. Today's game is proudly supported by Home Run Travel, the UK's first and only baseball travel specialist. Whether fans are looking to join one of their tours or design a tailor-made itinerary themselves, Home Run Travel can help tick off every ballpark on the bucket list across the US and Canada. Don't book your next baseball adventure without speaking to Home Run Travel. Your 1, 2, 3 for the Tayport Breakers will be back to the top of the order. Luke Lasky, Paul Gardner and Avon Fletcher coming up shortly. The wind picks up here at Tollcross. I'm Ewan Spence, Baseball Scotland. Back soon. We go into the 5th of a regulation 7 here at Tollcross Park and the Caledonia Classic AAA Grand Final. It's a 3-game series. Tayport Breakers up by 1. So they can lift the trophy here today. Glasgow Comets do need to win the game, so you take it to a tiebreaker at Tayport next weekend. Tayport Breakers, though, in a commanding lead here. 17 on the board. And there will be a check on a 15-run differential at the end of the 5th. So the game may be called here. Breakers back to the top of the order. Luke Lasky in just now. 2 walks and 2 hits so far on the card. Breakers will be looking to extend that lead and keep the pressure on the Comets. As Lasky hits that one towards third base. Picked up by Nate Strawser, thrown over first base. It's high, but Ian Davidson climbs up and gravity pulls him down in time. Luke Lasky, wishing he was batting that one on the moon. He would have got his foot on first, but Ian Davidson falls to the ground, foot on the base with the ball in the hand. And with that 5-3 and 1 away so far in the top of the 5th. Comets will need to get out of this inning as quickly as possible, preferably with no more runs on the board. He'll then be looking for a minimum of 3 in the bottom of the 5th as Paul Gardner watches that one go past for a ball. Single, double, hit by pitch, strikeout looking so far. And that one's going to be a check swing on fast and high and hard. Paul Gardner pulls out 2-0. And first strike goes on there. David Flores came in relief in the 3rd inning. Staying on the mound there. Now into the 5th. And that one's going to be hit and goes into the outfield territory down first base. Ian Davidson over in this one, gets to keep his feet on the ground on that one, but takes that comfortably. So it's 2 away. It's exactly what the Comets needed. Get themselves into this inning and get out with no damage, and then come back themselves and start the rally. Ivan Fletcher coming in now, reach on error, pop out, walk and line out. He's hit a number of foul balls that have went the distance, but just didn't have the angle. Patience called for here, although there is a little bit of a run cushion. Watches that one for the strike. Pitch comes down. That's high, but Fletcher fouls that off. But again, has the distance, has the speed. It needs about 20 degrees away from the foul pole on that one. Ball passed around the infield and outfield just to keep everybody's arms warm. Wind chill kicking in now. Sun ducking behind the clouds. 2 strikes on the board. Strike 3 there. Fletcher struck outside, retired in a 3 up, 3 down. David Flores in the defense doing what they needed to do as we go into the bottom of the 5th. There's an 18-run deficit for the Comets to make up. They don't have to do it all in the bottom of the 5th, but they need to get at least 3 on the board to avoid the run differential rule kicking in and calling of the game at that point. Today's game is supported by Home Run Travel, the specialist travel agents who offer tailor-made baseball trips for UK fans with itineraries across the US and Canada. Don't leave home without calling homeruntravel.co.uk. Your 1, 2, 3 for the Glasgow Comets. Well, it's going to be Ian Davidson, who's done sterling work at first base in the top of the 5th. David Flores and Nate Strauser. Bottom of the 5th here, it's a regulation 7, but there's a run differential, so let's make it simple. Glasgow Comets need 3 to stay in the running for the Caledonia Classic AAA trophy. Otherwise, the Tayport Breakers are 1/2 inning away from lifting that trophy. They're already 1 up in the 3-game series. Ian Davidson is in first and is behind in the count, not on 1 already. David Flores and Nate Strauser is going to be your 2nd and 3rd. A little bit of canine interference out there in the centre right field, just behind the fence. We're back out of way now, so we'll go underway there and watch that one as Luke Lasky stays on the bump so far for the game. Carries equal low, 1-1. 1-1 comes down. And it's going to be a ball on the inside, belt high. And some clip on it as well, 2-1. So as you said there, the lead is currently 17 for the Breakers. Comets still to put 1 on the board. They'll need to put 3 on the board in this inning. Otherwise, the game's going to be called on run differential. Count goes equal high, 2-2. And that's going to foul off back, so we're going to stay 2-2. And that's going to be fouled off again. Now we're just checking some stats here, but in the meantime, Davison from the promising position just watched that count go up and has been struck out. So there's 1 out of the 3 outs that were left. Seven, 8th strikeout for Luke Lasky so far. David Flores, so we get a little bit of picture here. And that comes in low for 0-1. And 1 more ball, count goes 2-0. And comes in there inside, strike 1, 2-1 on the count. Comets need to get on base, so the stay alive run is in the hole at the moment. Luke Lasky, pitching has remained strong and confident all the way through. Just the 1 hit at the at the top of the first from Alfredo Perez. Since then, 8 strikeouts there. That one comes in, that's going to go ball there as well. Nope, cold strike, grazes the bottom of the zone. Time called. Hopefully the umpire Thomas Haywood, Brian Clark out at third base. Michael Roberts second and Robert Dolan umpiring at first. And that pitch comes in and that's going to be a ball, so Flores does draw the walk and get on base. Nate Strauser comes in. Tyler Spencer is on deck. And Tyler is the stay alive run in the game. Strauser struck out so far in his first appearance. Facing Lasky, this is his second at bat. And he batting left-handed. Strike 1 drawn. Runner at first, David Flores. 1 away. Comets looking to find 3. Runner goes from first to second. The steal is on, and the ground hit goes past the gap into the left field, past shortstop, through the gap there between short and third. Runners up to first and second. Strauser gets a base hit from there. Flores moves up into scoring position in second. Tyler Spencer, stay alive run, steps into the plate now. 1 away so far, 3 to find. Sunlight starts to poke out over the pitcher, but not over the batter. Lasky will be feeling confident. And a fast swing and a miss there from Tyler Spencer gives us strike one. Runner goes from second to third, so that's going to be a steal into the corners. David Flores now just 90 feet away from the first run for the Comets. Still going to make the 90 feet to post the number one. And that's a hard swing there and a miss. Tyler Spencer once more. Takes us to 1 and 2. Runners at the corners, one away. Spencer is to stay alive run. Anything else, run differential is going to kick in. Runner goes from first up to second, and it's going to be strike called. That's strike three, so the steal is there, but the Glasgow Comets are down to their final out. It's going to be Andy Vaughan coming in now, right fielder. Started out as the DH, struck out on his first appearance at Lasky. 2 away, first base is open. Runners in second and third. Vaughan is to stay alive run, needs to get round. Pitch comes down, hits that one, bounces out, picked up by second baseman, it's out the glove, picks it up again, underarm throw, picked up by Tom Knox at first base. And that there is the game, that there is the Caledonia Classic Series, and that there is your season from Baseball Scotland as the Tayport Breakers will take that one on 17 runs. Glasgow Comets unable to find a response there, so the run differential kicks in at the bottom of the fifth in terms of the regulation 7. But if we are looking at the board, what is going to be interesting on that one is if we look at the Luke Lasky's performance as the winning pitcher, pitching a complete game there, and 9 strikeouts in there as well. It's a shutout for Luke Lasky on the pitching when you had Avon Fletcher having such a dominant performance in game 1. Many were expecting Fletcher to go back up onto the mound 2 weeks after that. Instead, Luke Lasky was put in and given the responsibility. Straight out of the gate, though, Glasgow Comets Alfredo Perez took a hit off of Lasky, but nothing more since then. Just 2 walks going through there as well. Nate Strozer actually sneaking in one final hit there at the close of the game. So it is still a shutout there. And Luke Lasky is showing the depth of the pitching that you had there from the Tayport Breakers. Glasgow Comets making it through the season and bringing themselves into the postseason as the number 3 seed, making it through to the final as well. Defeating the Edinburgh Cannons along the way. A season result that they can build on next year. And of course they'll, I'm sure, point out that they finished up slightly higher, slightly further away than their fellow Glasgow team in the Glasgow Galaxy. I'm sure that will keep them going over the winter. Thanks also to our umpiring crew here, Thomas Haywood, Robert Dolan, Rebecca Robb, and Brian Clark. My thanks also to John Tafe, who joined me on colour before we had to go and find the trophy in case it was won here, which in fact it is, and John's over there at the presentation ceremony now. Thanks also to Reuben Hustler in the truck, not just today but for every day, and in the truck at home while we get everything set up. It's been a pleasure to bring you baseball from Scotland throughout this season as we've built up our YouTube channel and our social media presence to bring you as much baseball action as possible. Do not go away though. Link, like, love, share and subscribe, because we are going to have the 6 games that we recorded at the BBF Summer Cup from our the Scotland Werewolves at AAA and the Scottish Saltires at Single A as well. We'll have them over the next 6 weeks on our YouTube channel at Baseball Scotland. You can search for us in the box there. The game is over, but we are just going to see if we can bring someone over and have a chat with the teams. They're, of course, enjoying and celebrating themselves there at the moment, bringing themselves through. Trophy ceremony will be coming up here. And before that point, I'll just leave the commentary booth momentarily. Thank you all for watching. Wherever you're watching around the world, wherever you're watching online, thank you very much for your company. And yes, we have our 6 games from the Summer Cup to bring to you over the next 6 weekends. So do keep watching us on the YouTube channel, and we'll keep you up to date and bring you more baseball as we head into the new year. If you want to find out more, practice sessions and all that will continue throughout the winter months. baseballscotland.co.uk for more, and you find us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/baseballscotland. My name's Ewan Spence. I'm here from Tollcross Park. Final score there, Tayport Breakers 17, Glasgow Comets 0. Hasty back.